I'd like to start this video off by saying I am not a financial advisor. Should you choose to invest in Bitcoin or any other asset, do your own research or seek the advice of an actual financial advisor. So in my last video, I mentioned that the level that we need to beat is 10,500. That we need to break 10,500 before we're off to the races. I also mentioned that there was a possibility that we could break down and see prices go towards maybe 8,600 or maybe even 8,000. Now, since my last video, we did seem to have a breakdown below the support that we've been holding on to ever since the Black Thursday cliff dive. Now, this breakdown, it wasn't necessarily bearish. As a matter of fact, as you can see here, we just put in a higher low compared to the last low that we had and the low we had before that. So essentially, we broke out of this consolidation pattern only to make it a little bit bigger. So as you can see, we have another support line going in the upwards direction. So we're staying above it so far. We are, however, below the 20-day EMA. That would be this red line right here. This is the 20-day exponential moving average. We are below it now, and that itself is a bit bearish. But as you can see, we did pop below it before. We put in a low back here, and then we broke back above it. So that in the short term, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. If we can hold this support here, then we will definitely move on our way up for another test of $10,000. And if we can break $10,000, well, it depends on when we reach $10,000 first off. If we reach it right here, then we're still in the 3-year-long consolidation pattern. I've been calling it a downtrend, but it's a consolidation pattern. It's lower highs and higher lows. It's a consolidation pattern. I don't know why I kept calling it a downtrend. But anyways, consolidation pattern. Now, like if we break it right here, if we test 10,000 right where I am currently drawing, it's within the consolidation pattern, the macro consolidation pattern. But if we hit $10,000, say like over here, that means technically we are already breaking out of the consolidation pattern, and at that point I would see us making our way towards 10,500. But anyways, regardless of where we touch $10,000 at, if we take another test on $10,000, it's still a chance that either way, that's still a chance that we can make our way towards 10,500 and potentially break it. If we can break $10,500, that means that a lot of people will say, hey, maybe the bull run has finally started. Because that will be essentially the breakout of the 3-year-long consolidation pattern and a higher high on the macro level. Like I said in my last video, the last macro high was $10,500 roughly, so that's why we need to break that. We need to put in a higher high in order to see this reversal through. So in the meantime, we're kind of just bouncing back and forth inside this consolidation pattern. If we do break the support, my lower targets still remain the same. We could either stop at $8,600, which would not be a lower low. It would just be where the previous low was. But if we break $8,600, that's when I could see us falling back down towards 8,100, which is where the 200 daily moving average is currently at, or 8,000, maybe down towards 7,800, 7,700 at the lowest, because like I said in the last video, there's a lot of volume traded in this area. It's the highest amount of volume traded out of every support and resistance we have in the area. As you know, if you go back like for the past year, maybe even 2 years or so, it's a very strong support zone, so I don't see us breaking it too easily. So if we do fall down that, we could make it down to 8,000, then we could get a bounce and maybe head back up towards 10,000. Well, I'm fucking this up. Back up towards $10,000. But we just got to see where we go from here. Now, I'm going to go out on the weekly here. I'm going to point out that on a macro level, things really haven't changed as far as the MACD. If you take a look at the MACD, we are still pretty bullish as far as that goes. The signal and the MACD are still spread apart. We are still trending in the upwards direction, but we did put in a smaller histogram bar, so that shows that the two lines are starting to converge. However, doesn't necessarily mean we're just going to be heading towards a bearish cross. We got to give it more time to see where it's going to go, but right now it's still overall bullish. Another thing I got to go to, we're going to go back to the daily. The miners' capitulation is basically, it's just about over. As far as the overselling goes, as far as I'm aware, there hasn't been any more overselling like that. 600% of miners, well, the miners selling like 600% of what they usually sell. That hasn't been happening anymore. So my guess is that the capitulation is basically over. As you can see, we're starting to put in recovery signals here anyways, and pretty soon we put in enough of these, we'll be getting a buy signal on this hash ribbon indicator. So in the meantime, until we can break out of this consolidation pattern, expect us to trade sideways. Now, this crash that we had here, this happened just as the regular stock market indexes were crashing. So do keep an eye on the regular stock market, because as much as we don't want to admit it, there is some correlation. Because if the regular stock market starts going through like major crashes again, some people are likely going to sell their Bitcoin in order to cover their asses as far as their regular stock market positions go. So we'll just have to, you'll just have to keep an eye on that too. I don't really think there's really nothing else I can go over, because I mean, Bitcoin's just been trading sideways for like the longest time now. It's getting kind of boring, if you ask me. This drop here, this was the most action we've seen in a while. And I mean, before that was the Bart Simpson pattern back there, which was clear manipulation. I mean, there's no other way to put that. But despite the fact that it was manipulation, or whether it was or not, I don't know. I mean, I can't necessarily prove it was, but usually Bart Simpson patterns are well movements. Anyways, it was a higher high as far as the consolidation pattern goes, so technically that still makes it an uptrend, higher highs and higher lows. So yeah, until we break out of this consolidation pattern, we're just going to be moving sideways. This is more or less a wait and see what happens kind of moment. And this may be a pretty long moment from what it's looking like. So in the meantime, watch that $10,500 area, because that's the level that we still need to be. And that's all I can really say. There's nothing else to say. Yeah. I don't get enough sleep these days. But with that, I think that's all I have for you guys today. I will see you all next time.